tell me, how did you meet Julia? And where
I
did
met
you
it
meet
at a baseball down at Staten, Tennessee. In Staten.
Did he play ball?
No, but I went to all the ball games.
You did. And when
That's
was
where you
that?
see all the baseball players.
Yeah, when was that?
It was in September of '47.
Wow. And when did you get married?
50. March
Wow.
of 50.
Now, he went to the service.
He was out of the service then.
Was he?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And what did he do? Where did he work?
He built the new store.
He did?
Mm-hmm. He built that building.
Julian did?
Mm-hmm. He and Uncle Calvin. Yeah.
Okay. Who did I know you worked there when
Little
I
bit,
was,
not unless I had to.
I know, but you were there when I was growing up
Yeah,
frequently.
I was in and out, yeah.
Yeah,
But I worked at Siegel's.
You did?
Mm-hmm.
Who all worked at the new store?
Ooh, Toddy was there, and Euler, Pack, and Amy C., and Doc Whittinghill, Florine Whittinghill.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
How long did Doc and Florine?
Doc was there when I first knew about the store.
And then what did Doc end?
Doc was a manager.
And when did he go?
Emmett was the meat man.
And when did Emmett see?
I don't know. I just know he come in after Doc did.
And Doc went to work for the state.
I don't know.
Didn't he? At the park. Right after that, when I was little, he worked. All of Flo and Doc and all of their children were at the park, and he was the park superintendent for a pretty good while. So and Emmett C. was there.
I didn't know he ever went out there.
Yeah.
Learned something.
He was the park superintendent for several years, and they lived out there.
Yeah.
I think Mr. Wagner did.
Now Doc
was out
did,
there.
but
Yeah,
Emmett
Doc.
C. didn't.
No, Doc
Yeah.
went
Oh
to
yeah.
the state. Okay.
Sorry about that.
When did Julian build the new store? Did he have help? Did he hire the people?
He and Calvin Larkins. That was his uncle. And Julian built it. He built it, and he came out of the service in '45, and he built it around '46, '47.
Took them 2 years.
Mm-hmm. You know when the town caught on fire in '46, they was building it brand new then.
Was it finished when the town burned?
No. They was afraid it was going to catch on fire, but it didn't.
It was all blocked, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
It was a pretty good sized store.
Yep. Didn't.
Do you remember about the fire when the town burned?
I didn't even know Julian then. Mm-hmm.
Well, I know that it didn't get the new store when it burned. When did Julian go to work for the Ford Company?
I think it was 52 or 53. In the early 50s.
Yeah. When did you build your house on Old Charlotte Road?
We moved in 56.
And Hartwell and Helen built their house
Before we did.
before you did. I could not remember.
They was about through with theirs when we started our house.
But Julian did some work.
Wired
in
it, probably.
wiring. And
He's an electrician.
yes. What did he do at Ford?
He's the foreman.
Really? And he worked there till he retired?
24 years.
Really? How many brothers and sisters did Julian have?
Did Julian have?
Yeah.
Let me have some think. It was 6 of them. And he had 3 brothers and 3 sisters.
Who were they?
Who were they?
Yeah.
One of them was Roscoe Buttrey, Reuben Buttrey, and Calvin was the brothers. And Eddie King and Bessie Griffin. No, who did Bessie marry? Wait a minute. Bradley. Bessie Bradley. Had to stop and think. And that was the family. And Alla Martin. Martin. 3 girls and 4 boys.
And Julian had a shop out back. I remember going in there when I was little. And it was always full of interesting things and Hartwell would take me over there when he would go see Julia, but I couldn't touch anything. Everything had to be left alone.
Because Julia knew exactly
where everything was.
That's right.
And he built an airplane. Am I correct with that?
Oh, yeah. A model airplane.
Yeah.
Crashed it the first time he flew it. Tore it all to pieces.
Well, he had an airplane out that he flew.
Yep.
Where was that, Mary?
Oh, he of course had to get a hangar in Nashville, but he brought it to White Bluff, flew it down out of the field down here off the White Bluff Road.
Jeff Martin?
Jeff
Shelton's
field, yeah.
Yeah, it had a hangar there
yeah.
for a long time.
Yeah,
What year, how many years did he do
I don't
that?
know. Early 60s. It was before we moved in our new house.
Well,
we saw
that
the
would have been
airplane.
in the 50s because I was really small then, and
well, we moved in our house in 56, and he sold it before we moved it.
built the house. Well, I was really little, but I remember the hangar was there for a long time.
Yeah.
It was there for years after.
I guess Jeff built that hangar.
I don't know.
I don't know. I really don't know.
But it was there, and I
didn't-
remember the airplane being there, and Julian flying in
He
and
had
out
fun
of
of
there.
that plane.
He had a big time.
I wished we had a lot of money. He'd left us that cabin.
Yeah, that would have been
They
great.
was expensive.
Yeah, but he had a big time.
Oh, yeah.
He enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Tell me about the community center.
Oh, mercy.
When did it start?
In 1962,
Yeah.
we started the first little ball games over there, the best I remember.
Is that when they built at that time the new building? Who was over that?
Timothy, I don't know. Linda Hayes' daddy was for one that was on the board. And I don't remember who else.
Jimmy Brown.
Jimmy
was
Brown
there.
was at one time. Who was the mayor at one time up here?
Ooh, had lots of them.
I know. He was. I can't remember the names.
But they worked really hard.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody in town worked to.
And I got the concession stand going.
Yes, you did.
Yeah.
What all did you serve in the
Oh, Lord,
concession
hamburgers
stand?
and hot dogs.
And they
Popcorn.
were good. And they were good, and you
Oh,
sold
yeah.
lots of
Oh,
them.
yeah.
I remember.
Had a lot of ball games over there.
Yeah, and it really grew, and it was in the summertime. You couldn't hardly get in
That's right.
over there. There wasn't a lot to do in town.
Didn't they at one time have kindergarten there one year?
I think so.
I know they started it. I don't know if they completed the whole year or not, but I know they did.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. People had a lot of fun.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, tell me about some people in White Bluff that you remember.
Oh, mercy me. I don't want to talk about the people in White Bluff.
Oh,
They're
we
all
do.
great.
Yeah, tell me some character people that you remember.
Well, NBC for one.
Yeah.
And Doc Whittingham for one. They're about the ones I knew the most.
Do you remember Beck's store? Other grocery stores?
Just rarely. It went over our time or two, but I never
Yeah.
did know much about them.
Tell me about the other grocery stores in town. How many do you remember?
Well,
there
now,
being?
the Browns was a big grocery store.
Yeah.
We had ours. And then Myatt's.
Yeah.
It was a new store in Myatt's and Browns.
And then
we
we had
had-
little other stores
Yeah.
around too. Do you remember
But there's
any
the
of
three big
those?
ones. And we all had good business and worked good together.
Yeah. I never knew anybody to get
Yeah.
angry or mad, and if we ran out of some, my mom and dad, they would go to the news store. The news store would come across the street
That's
and
right,
get what they
that's
had to
right.
have. What other little stores do you remember that were
I remember
around?
when the drugstore came in. We built the drugstore. Julia and I did.
And who
That was-
originally had that?
It was a doctor out of Nashville that came down here. A Dr. Morgan, I believe was his name.
Yeah.
But we started the drugstore.
Added
Then-
on to where the new store
Yeah,
was.
it was attached
Yeah.
to the new store.
Yes, it was.
But we built it and got a drugstore here.
Yeah, that was the first one I remember. It certainly wasn't the first one that had been here, but it was the
It's
first
the one I remember.
Yeah, it's the one we all remember. Tell me about Miss Kate Gardner. Do you remember her?
Don't know much about Miss Kate.
She had that little grocery store.
Yeah, but I didn't know a thing about her.
And Son Gardner. Do you remember Son?
Yeah, I remember the name, but I didn't go to that store either.
And there was Nolan Cathy's.
Went to Nolan Cathy's.
Yeah. What do you remember about Nolan Cathy's store?
He had good bologna. Him and Max had good bologna.
And they had good cheese. When Randy and the new store, they at one time I think they had what they called hoop cheese, and it came in the boxes. And but no one ended up being the only one in town that kept it, and you could go out there and.
But if you wanted some good bologna, Mr. Nolan kept it all the time.
It was a good
He'd slice
place.
that bologna for you.
At that time, people came in the stores and they would get them to make sandwiches for them at lunch, and they just had a large time. But the town was different then because everybody knew everybody, and everybody knew what time they came in, what time people left. Did the new store have charge accounts?
Yes.
They paid them every week, got the paychecks, and
Some
come
of them
in.
did.
Some of them did. And so
That's all right. We had good business.
yeah,
Good business.
and it all worked.
Worked good.
What do you remember about the school?
I don't remember anything about the schools because we didn't have any children, so I didn't.
But you were always at the ball games.
Oh,
It was
yeah, I
very
attended all,
supportive.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
All those times and all those years, you always were supportive of all the sports and enjoyed it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
With Joe and Martin.
Yeah.
Joe and Martin was a teacher, and she and I were real buddies. Mm-hmm.
And you played? Did she play cards with
Played
you?
bridge. Mm-hmm.
Who all played bridge with you? Used to be a whole group of people that played bridge.
Florine Whittinghill, Joy, Anita Spann, just a whole bunch of us.
Yeah.
Me, Gene Larkins,
Yeah.
and a lot of people from Dickson.
Had a large
From
time.
White Bluff,
didn't
that
you?
was about the group.
Yeah.
We had a good time.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
No.
What do you remember about Gene and L.D. Larkins?
Well, they was just, L.D. and Julian were first cousins, of course, but I didn't know a whole lot about them. But they worked on the farm, and they took care of the home place, and of course took care of Uncle Dobson, and Aunt Maud all the time, so
Now,
they stayed pretty busy.
how many,
They adopted 2 children,
who were they?
Valerie and Kevin.
And they lived on the farm, the original
Kevin
farm.
does now, but Valerie, she married and moved away.
Yeah.
But she lives here in White Bluff somewhere, but I don't know where.
When the farm, do you remember when the farm started, when they bought the farm, or how they got that farm?
No. That was in the Larkins family.
That was Mr. Calvin's daddy,
Yeah, no.
brother.
Brother, Uncle Dobson, and Calvin was the only 2 boys.
Were they?
Mhm.
Do you know any of the sisters that were?
Well, yeah, it was St. Sue Ladd, Ellen Miller, Mary Nix, and Julian's mother, Massey Larkins.
What do you remember about Miss Massey?
Lovely, lovely, lovely mother-in-law.
Was she?
Yes, she was a good one.
And what was her husband's name?
Bowie.
What did he do? Did they just
He
farm?
farmed. They farmed.
They did? What about Aunt Alice?
Ain't Alice Gillum? Well, she just made the best chocolate cookies you could ever eat. It's all I can remember. Every time you go, you had to get a cookie. Aunt Alice always had a plate of cookies made.
And she was one of the sisters?
Yes, she is the oldest sister.
Yeah.
And she lived down there with Calvin in that little house.
On Old
You know, that
Charlotte
little
Road.
log. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's still there, Timothy.
Yeah. The red and white.
Yeah,
They
Little log
painted
house.
it, didn't they?
that's where Aunt Alice lived.
Yeah. What do you remember about Howard and Willie Mae Brown?
Didn't know much about them, just knew of them, but they were fine people.
Yeah.
Now, Willie Mae, daughter, what's her name? They married R.E. Coy, Betty. Betty and I about the same age, close to it. I knew a little bit more about her than I did the other.
Very easy going people.
Yeah. Of course, R.E. was from Charlotte. He went to school in Charlotte, and I knew him over there.
They were all married about the same. All of you guys
all about the same
were
time.
about the same time.
Betty and I were married about the time Julia and I did.
Yeah.
Pretty close.
Yeah. So how do you think White Bluff has changed since
I don't know.
Since you
I
came
hate to
here?
describe it. It's
compare
bigger than I ever thought.
Compare it to when you came here and to now.
It's just grown with leaps and bounds, I tell you.
Don't know as many people as we used to, do we?
Don't even look like the same place, I don't think.
No, it's all changed. Do you remember Jackson's store and the funeral home and the paint shop there, being there?
Barely remember. I don't think I remember Mr. Newell having any. I remember the funeral home being there, but I don't remember ever going if they had anybody.
Yeah.
I think that had kind of died out when I got up here.
Yeah, and that's where the Greyhound bus stop was, too. You could catch the bus and go to Dickson or Nashville. They had that. Tell me about the restaurants. Do you remember any of the restaurants?
Fred Baker was the #1 restaurant in White Bluff.
Yeah.
Fred and Catherine Baker.
When did they build that? Do you remember?
They was in business when I married and moved up here.
But it was new then, wasn't it? It was fairly new.
Overall, his brother, half-brother had it then, Frank Overall.
Did he? How many was in his family? I know there was Frank and Catherine, and she was an ushery, wasn't she?
Yeah.
Yeah. And
It
Fred.
was just Fred. They were half brothers, Fred and Overall.
Yeah. And there was another fella. Did they live with Fred's mother, Miss Ruby? Now, did you ever remember Miss Ruby?
Wait a minute. He was Miss Ruby's nephew. What was his name? Crumpler.
Yeah.
He lived with Miss Ruby's son, but not much.
Yeah.
But that's the only thing I remember about it.
And that was a tourist court.
Yeah.
Then. And that's before the interstate.
Yeah.
And there was
that was kind of out of business when I moved here.
Yeah. I remember eating there a lot, growing up, and all of us did, I guess. Do you remember the Joneses that had the restaurant in town? That's
I
where.
I remember when they went out of business.
Do you?
But we never did eat that much.
Yeah.
So we didn't go in there. But I remembered it. But don't remember anything about them.
Yeah. I think that ended up, my aunt, anyhow,
Yeah.
they.
Now, I went a lot
bought
then when
that.
she was there, yeah.
Yeah, they had it a long time.
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember any of the buildings around town that are gone now?
No.
What do you remember Colonel James's old house?
No, they were burnt when the fire, wasn't it? The James building?
The James
I've heard
building
Julia talk about that.
burned. The Methodist Church burned.
Yeah. See, they had built the new church when I moved up here.
Had they? When was that built? The new
Well, it was
Methodist
in the
Church?
early 50s.
Really?
But
Okay.
see, the fire was in 46.
Yeah.
And they had built the new church, and they were meeting when I moved up here.
Well, okay.
And I moved my membership here in 51.
Okay. Really? Where did you?
Cumberland Furnace.
Cumberland Furnace.
Down below Charlotte.
Okay. And did you grow up there?
Yep. On Little Gardens Creek.
Did you like it down there?
Well, I had to.
That's where you were. So
Well, yeah, I had to.
That's where you enjoyed being.
That's right.
Have you liked White Bluff?
Had to catch the mail hack to go to Dickson. You couldn't even get a bus. We just had a terrible time getting transportation when I was growing up.
Really?
Yeah.
Have you enjoyed living in White Bluff?
Yeah, because I've never lived anywhere else much.
It's been a good place.
Good place. Good people in White Bluff.
Yeah. Yeah. Can you think of anything else that you want?
No, Timothy, I can't even think about it. Yes.
Where are you working now?
Dickson Funeral Home.
How long have you been working
Been there close to 30 years.
Really?
I do visitations. On my way there now.
Well, there you go.
Got to work today, work Saturday, so.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you do mighty good.
Well, stay busy.
Yeah.
You last
You still play cards?
Yeah.
Who do you play with now?
Oh, mercy. They're all from Dickson, most
Are
of them. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
No White Bluff people
Not many.
left that
Mm-hmm.
you...
Donna Jordan's only one.
Yeah.
She was a Whittingham, married Bobby Jordan. She plays, and I guess she and I are the only one that plays up here. No, Phyllis, now I know some of the younger groups. Phyllis Green, she's in another club, but I don't know who all's in there. So, she was from White Bluff.
So things have changed quite a bit since
Quite
you
a
came
bit,
here.
quite a bit.
You think it's good?
Why, yeah, I guess.
It's growing anyway.
It's growing, yeah. Don't know everybody, but it's growing, yeah.
What do you remember about the park?
Not a whole lot about the park, because I didn't get to go down there much.
Do you know my first memory of the park?
What?
First time I ever remember going, Suzanne and Kitty, my brother Hartwell, his two daughters, you kept us one day, and I was little, probably 3 years old. First time I ever remember going to the park, you took us, and we went down to the spillway.
Ooh.
And that's the first time I ever remember going to the park. And we would come over to your house, and you had a little dog named Buttons.
Buttons, yeah, little bulldog.
Uh-huh. And Buttons did not like me. And he tried to bite me every time that I was at your
He liked
house.
Hartwell, though.
Yeah. But he did not like me. But I remember Buttons. I remember the first time you took me, the first time I went to the park, you took me, and what a great time it was. Yeah, we had a big
But
time.
Timothy, I don't remember that.
No, probably not.
Was Benny with us then, Rick?
No. Mm-mm.
I used to
Certainly
care her
wasn't.
friends when they'd come over, my baby
Yeah.
sister.
You were good to a lot of people in town and a lot of kids in town. And you would come and play cards with on snow when it got real cold and snow. We had a lot of snow back then. And you came and played cards with my mom, myself, Philip Buttrey.
Yeah.
Yeah, you would walk.
Try to keep y'all busy.
Yeah, we did. You did.
Kept y'all
Did
straight.
it good, we had a good time. You were always great with that. Mary, is there anything else you can think
Can't
about?
think of a thing.
Well, okay.
Getting older and
Can't
busy,
tell it.
staying busy.
Can't tell it. You don't look any different now than you did when
Well,
I
I
was
am,
little.
Timothy, I am.
Hey, we appreciate you coming and talking to us.
The Lord's been good to me.